The following is a presentation of TFNN.
Sylvester Stallone knew his whole life what he wanted to do. For him, it was a chance to inspire others. Life wasn't easy. At birth, he was pulled out by forceps. It's why he looks and speaks the way he does. 1,500 agents said, "No, you're not an actor." His first 3 scenes led to nothing, but he never gave up. Sly sold his first script, Paradise Alley, for $100. That money didn't last long. The last thing he had left was his dog. He got $25. That was rock bottom. He cried, and soon after, watched a fight between Muhammad Ali and Chuck Wepner. Wepner went 15 rounds but was pounded to a pulp. It inspired Sly, and he wrote for 20 hours straight the entire Rocky movie. Tried to sell it, but nobody wanted it. Too predictable, too sappy. Sly saved those comments and read them to himself the night he won the Oscar. Sly never gave up. One day, 2 guys offered to buy the script for $125,000. Sly said with one condition, "I'm Rocky." No way. We need a star like Ryan O'Neal to play Rocky. Can you imagine? The same guys called him back and offered him $250,000 not to star in his own movie. Sly said no. They countered with $325,000. Sly said no. They compromised. $35,000, points in the movie, and Sly would play Rocky. Rocky has grossed over $225 million and the entire franchise over $1 billion. What's your Rocky moment, folks? What's your vision? Your unstoppable success? You were born to be a money master. The time is now to take massive action.
Let's go over to Don in Odessa, Florida. Don, thanks for calling. Thanks for holding.
Hey, Steve. Thank you.
You bet. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I'm a subscriber to your service, and I just want to let you know that I sure do appreciate what you've done for me.
Wow.
Couple months ago.
Thank you very, very much.
The Trader's Edge with your host, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, all you wonderful money masters and treasure hunters. Welcome to the March 19th, terrific Tuesday edition of today's Opening Bell on the Trader's Edge. I'm your host, Steve Rhodes, and thanks so much for joining me, folks. I absolutely treasure your presence here today, and my outcome, as always, is to help you to become a better money master and to provide you with the tools that each of us need in order to lead an inspired life. Because leading an inspired life, folks, that is really what it's all about. So let's go take a look at one of our tools. This is the tool. You're going to love this tool. This is the tool I call accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. You got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch onto the affirmative, and don't mess with Mr. In-Between. So sang Johnny Mercer back in the 40s. Folks, if you've never heard that song, I mean, this is a message that is still a great one for each of us. Now, my favorite version of it is actually by Al Jarreau out there, but go check it out. You can find it anywhere out there. In fact, I hear it in the background. I hear it in the background. You gotta love our man Al in the production room. You gotta accentuate the positive.
Accentuate positive and eliminate negative. That's your bound. True to the affirmative. Don't mess with nothing in between.
And folks, you know, at times we just simply tend to blame others for our misfortunes. I don't know if you've ever done this, but I most certainly have. And from time to time, I fall prey to this. And what I've learned is that instead of wasting time and energy or anger and accusation, it's far more productive, at least it is for me, to focus on solutions and to move away from the problem. You know, yesterday I said we should really spend 5% of our time on the problem. You can easily identify the problem. It's spending that 95% of your time and energy on the solution. Accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. It can work for you. And what you should do is you should go grab that song. In fact, when you have a little negative thought that's going on, you ought to go get it, whether it's Johnny Mercer's or Frank Sinatra's or Al Jarreau's, or there's plenty out there that have done that song, folks. It is a great thing to have in your toolkit, in your arsenal. You know, if anger... Well, I know this. Anger feeds anger. You ever get cut off while you've been driving on the road, you know, and maybe you want to, maybe you throw a kindly gesture. As they said, I think it was in, might have been in Top Gun when Kelly McGillis was asking what's his name, Tom Cruise was doing flying flying overhead in the Russians. He said he was communicating as he flipped him the bird there. Anger, folks, can feed anger. And it's really important to be able to eliminate that negativity out there. I'm not a big believer that if you only think positive thoughts, that only positive things will happen to you. All you have to do is walk in my shoes to know how false that statement is. But what I do believe is that we can control our mind, we can control our emotions, we can control our mind and emotions. That means we can control our life. I believe this with all of my heart in the world. You know, Ralph Waldo Emerson, he once said, the ancestor to every action is a thought. So thought comes first, positive or negative, and next comes the action out there. The impossible, folks, it absolutely is possible. Just get rid of the things that get in the way. And in that, folks, that's pretty simple. Because the only thing that gets in the way of your success is yourself. And when you take a look at impossible, you take that, you just phonetically maybe pronounce the word, I am possible. That word, folks, broken out phonetically. That's all you've got to remember. Thank you, Johnny Mercer, for accentuating the positive and eliminating the negative out there. 877-927-6648. Let's go take a look at the positive here in the marketplace. It's all over the place. You know, yesterday when we hopped onto the show, really didn't spend as much time taking a look at, what I like to do, my tools out here for just simply inspirational tools. They inspire me. Folks, really a lot of the stuff that I share with you, it's really for me in order to get me fired up each and every day. So I think it's a great way to just start your morning out there. I hope you do as well. Of course, as we were coming into yesterday's session, the reason why I wanted to spend more time was because at least I believe on the other media stations out there, they just report the news. We tell you what the news is doing, what it means, where things are going. And yesterday, as we came on to the show, in fact, if you're watching us on Tiger TV, you're taking a look at my daily ES mini chart out here. That's where we're going to start, was with the daily charts. If you're listening in on the radio or your mobile device at tfnn.mobi, remember, you can always grab this show live streamed to your smartphone device, your pad, or what have you, is by going to the homepage of tfnn.com. Over on the right-hand side, you will see a button with three little smartphone devices. Click on that, and it will just simply stream live to that device. You'll be seeing this ES mini chart out here. Now, yesterday, as we were coming, well, actually, it was early in the morning. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning when the futures here, we're taking a look at the futures contract, the ES Mini, when price had been rejected. And price had been rejected. You've heard me, I'm a candle guy. I believe that it's so important. No matter what it is that you do in life, you need to understand the lingo. You need to understand the language out there. I can't imagine doing anything without knowing the rules of the game. And the rules of the game are, when it comes to communication, it's about understanding what the bulls and bears are doing. And a tried, true method of being able to do that is just simply read the candlesticks. They absolutely tell you what the bulls and bears are doing. It is so easy out there. Now, it takes a little bit of time. You've got to investigate some. You got to invest some time in order to be able to do that. One of the things that I really focus on is being able to just simply condense decades into days or hours out there. That's why I put together a one-day workshop on candlesticks. In fact, if you're interested in it and you're interested in learning how to read the message of the market, just contact the folks at tfnn.com. They can set you up. It's a full-day workshop archived on your members page for 30, 60 days, whatever time it is that you need in order to be able to learn how to read the message of the markets out there. And when we take a look at where an area of support was, it was an old area of resistance. And in the case of the ES Mini, very simple. It was the top of either the high of the February 20th candle, which is 1530 even Steven, or the prior candle that it engulfed. That happens to be 1529. So it was 1530. What did the ES Mini actually do in that intraday session, Sunday evening, early Monday morning? Got down to 1529.50. Came down there, tested it, rejected it. Went ahead and moved higher. That's why yesterday when I came on the air, I said not so fast out there, because as we put all the charts together, we were easily able to identify areas of support. It was old resistance out here, and most certainly that area held. Doesn't mean that yesterday's candle was necessarily bullish, because there's another tool that I teach, and you can get that tool also inside that workshop. It is a extremely valuable tool out there. What we can see, though, being music influenced here, we can see that Johnny Cash, Basil Chapman line out here. That is walking the 9-period EMA. We can see that the ES Mini closed just slightly above it coming into yesterday's close, and this morning that level has held as support. What does that mean? Well, in this case here, looks to me like what that means is, well, right now what it means is, so far the ES Mini has gotten up into that March 15th low. That low out there is 1549. We can see so far in the session, yesterday it got up in there, now rejected that level. This morning here, it's gotten up to 1551.25. It's at 1549.75. So long as it stays with inside 1549, what's it want to do, folks? That's right. It wants to go up and at least tag and test the highs. Now, what the ES Mini will be doing, the high's 1558.75, but more important than that, quite frankly, is the 1556.25. You can see that number is labeled. That's the red line going across my screen. That happens to be the bottom of the swing point from October 11, 2007. You get the ES Mini to close inside there. What does that set up? That's right. That sets up a move to the top of that candle. In the case of the S&P Cash Index, that's at that 1579. I forget the change. Inside the ES Mini, it would be 1586.75 out there. Yesterday was the opportunity for the bears to come out of the woods. And the bears did come out of the woods. There are all kinds of bearish signals out there. All of those signals need additional confirmation. That confirmation needs to come today. Because if it doesn't come today, folks, it'll be like the bulls running through the streets of Spain out there. And what we will see and what you want to keep your eye on, absolutely, in my opinion, is the S&P 500. You want to be paying attention to the ES Mini and the S&P 500. That's where our signal is going to come from. You get another rejection now. We have had 2 rejections of that 1556.25 level on the ES Mini. What we haven't had, if we go switch over into the S&P 500, what we haven't had here in the S&P 500 is a rejection of that 1546.72. Yes, on the futures contract, it has rejected the low of that October 11 swing point. But just the opposite yesterday. We had the S&P Cash Index get over 1546.72, got over it, even though it's on lighter volume, got over it on March 8th, has stayed over it since. Yesterday was the opportunity to break that level. What did it do? Got down to a low of 1545.13. So it gets below 1546.72. And what's it do? It rejects that area and moves higher. So the key on the S&P Cash Index, 1546.72. That's all you've got to watch for. You see a close below that, and what we're looking for is most likely a correction of about 50 points or so, at least 50 points when we take a look at the futures contract. Maybe later in the show or on the Money Master show, we'll come take a look at the actual correction levels with regard to mathematical harmonics. But these little yellow boxes that you're looking at on my screen, we can take those yellow boxes and take a look at the ES Mini off of the June 4th lows, and we'll see that approximate 50-point move is all over the place. 877-927-6648. There it is. Accentuate the positive, folks. Eliminate all that negative. We'll be right back.
My last remark.
What type of investor are you? Conservative, moderate, or aggressive? No matter your investor personality, your overall portfolio should reflect your financial goals, time horizon, and your risk tolerance. Help ensure your portfolio is appropriately invested with an asset allocation plan from Morgan Stanley Wealth Management. Simply picking the right stocks is not enough. Research has shown that choosing the right proportions of stocks, bonds, and cash is essential to the success of your long-term investments. Morgan Stanley believes a carefully selected portfolio can lower volatility and increase investment return potential. Find out about what an asset allocation and a Morgan Stanley Wealth Management financial advisor can do for you. Call Angela O'Brien, First Vice President and Financial Planner of the Clearwater, Florida branch at 727-441-6108 today to discuss your personal financial needs. Asset allocation does not assure a profit or protect against loss in declining financial markets. Investments and services are offered through Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, LLC. Member SIPC.
with the launch of TigerTV. TFNN has brought our programming to the next level. With TigerTV, you can gain access to each host's charts and computer screens as they host their daily stock program. Whether it's Tom O'Brien, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Ken Shreve, David White, Larry Pesavento, Victor Jones, or Carol Martin, you can catch all of our technicians hosting their programs live and archived on TigerTV for your viewing pleasure 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you haven't checked out TigerTV, then visit TFNN.com and see what you're missing.
McEwen Mining is a high-growth, mid-tier producer in the Americas with a market capitalization of $1 billion. Experienced mining executive Rob McEwen, as chairman, CEO, and president, owns 25% of the outstanding shares of McEwen Mining and has put in place an ambitious business plan with the goal of qualifying for inclusion in the S&P 500 by 2015. With $70 million in cash and liquid assets as of the end of 2012 and completely debt-free, McEwen Mining is poised for growth. Production in 2013 is forecasted to grow at 24%, reaching 130,000 gold equivalent ounces. And over the next 3 years, McEwen Mining projects that their production will increase to 290,000 gold equivalent ounces, almost a threefold increase from last year's totals. If you'd like to find out more about McEwen Mining, click on their banner on the front page of TFNN.com or check them out on the NYSE or TSX under the symbol MUX.
Are you looking for a precision edge in the market? Something that can stack the odds in your favor? Then look into Larry Pesavento's new trading newsletter, Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind. In each weekly issue, Larry explains what's going to happen in the markets based on the pattern he sees developing and gives you actionable trade ideas based on those patterns. Plus, you'll get his detailed analysis on a variety of markets and sectors, including stocks, treasury bonds, the gold market, oil, the dollar, the forex market, and more. And you'll get the Technical Corner segment, which is a short but powerful weekly training session on trading. You'll get access to all the patterns Larry is seeing in the markets, plus the Astro Harmonics and powerful Bradley stock market model that Larry utilizes for less than $5 a day. An extremely potent combination that will give you just the edge you've been looking for. Try Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind absolutely free for 2 weeks. Go to TFNN.com and click on the free trial link at the top of the page. That's an $85 value, yours free when you register right now. Get Larry's Patterns, Profits, and Peace of Mind and get the edge you've been looking for.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by BackTech Environmental. For more information, just click the BackTech banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
To accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In-Between.
That's absolutely right, folks. Don't be messing with Mr. In-Between out there. And question for you. What do you think is more important, or what's more important to you, time or money? Time or money, folks. You know, in the early days, the early years, when I was maybe a little bit more naive, I used to think that money was more important. And what I really found out is that, you know, time, it's irreplaceable. You can't get back time. You can get back money in the click of a heartbeat out there, but you can't get back time. And what I really learned the most is that if you're trying to master something, you know, whenever I don't know about you, but for myself, when I do something, I want to be the best that I possibly can be. That doesn't mean that I'm going to be, if I want to play basketball, then I'm going to be better than Michael Jordan. But you want to always seek out those folks that are the best out there. As we take a look at the market open right now, we've got Apple. Apple's going to open up a bit here, closed out at 455, trade out at 459. And if you're watching us on Tiger TV, you're seeing this descending price channel on here. And if you want to really add some tools to your arsenal, if you want to understand primary trading ranges, if you want to understand channel lines, how to draw them, what they mean, then what you want to do is you want to be able to, I would think you would want to master that. And the easiest way to master that is to go to the master himself. And here at TFNN, this coming Thursday, so in a couple evenings from 6:30 to 8:30, Bud Rolf's going to be putting on a special workshop, the coming 4 years in the market, and it's an opportunity for you to learn from the master. And that's really what it's all about. So if you're even sitting on the fence here, well, then I know what you need to do. You need to get off that fence. You need to head over to the homepage of TFNN.com and sign up for it. Don't worry if you can't be there live. It'll be archived on your members page out there. Time, folks, is irreplaceable. And what Bud will do is he'll take years, thousands of hours. He'll be able to condense it into that 90-minute workshop and teach you how to be able to properly use all of these lines out here. And they're important. As I pointed out yesterday, Apple had broken on Friday's session. Apple had broken that downtrend channel. That said what? That said that Apple wanted to move to higher levels. Now, we know where resistance is inside Apple, and that resistance clearly, this would be using some of Stevie's techniques or Tom's techniques out here. And what we can take a look at is we know that Apple had a gap out here. We also know it had a swing point low on January 15th out at that 483.38 level. That is where Apple is headed to. You had some pretty decent volume again yesterday, about 22 million shares after about 22 million or almost 23 million shares on Friday's candle as well. So go to the homepage of TFNN.com. This is a set of tools that you absolutely want to be able to have in your arsenal, and you get the opportunity to absolutely learn it from the master out there. And, folks, that will be the best time and, quite frankly, the best money that you could ever invest in yourself. If we take a look at what else is popping and dropping out here, you've got ABC. That's Amerisource Bergen out there. Used to do business with those folks. 48.30 is what they closed at, trading out at 51.06 right now. Now, let's see if they were out with earnings out here. I don't see an earnings report. You've got Vodafone Group, VOD. They're closed at 27.93. Their last trade firing off at 28.49. You've got Cardinal Health, CAH is the ticker symbol, down pretty decent here, about 10% so far in the pre-market. They closed at 46.13. Last trade fired off at 42.75. Lululemon having some problems with some of their material. And that is so they're taking some things off the shelves, I believe, out there. Some of their sheer black is a little too sheer out there, and they're getting sheared. We'll see what kind of volume comes out of this equity. LULU is the ticker symbol. 65.90 is what it closed at, trading out at 63.20 right now. Harvest Natural, HNR out there. They closed at 5.49. Oh my goodness, they're getting hammered here. Down $3. So we'll take a look at that equity. You've got Holly Enterprises, HEP out here. They closed at 42.28. They're down at $40.40. If we take a look at what's going on around the globe right now, you've got over in Germany, the DAX is down just slightly off 15 points. The FTSE is up 12. Over in Asia last night, you had the Nikkei bounce up 2%. That was up 247 points. The Shanghai up 18, about 0.8%. And the Hang Seng basically flat, down 41 points. That was down 0.2%. Gold right now trading off a buck, trading down $1.50. As out at 16.03, no real movement there. Silver off 8 pennies, out at 28.79. Light sweet crude flat, also out at 93.80. That's up 6 ticks out there. The VIX index, the VIX yesterday was up about 18.23%. $2. That usually indicates the market is going to bounce on the next day, folks. Accentuate the positive. That's a beautiful thing. 877-927-6648. We'll be right back.
Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You got to spread.
In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors. Just recently, on December 28th, Market Insight subscribers were advised to go long the QQQ, the NASDAQ 100 ETF, on December 28th at $63.91, and only 2 trading days later, after a huge jump in the markets, Market Insight subscribers were advised to sell the QQQ at $66.64 for a $2.73 or 4.27% profit to start off 2013. At the same time, Tom O'Brien had advised his clients looking for a more leveraged trade that they could have initiated a position in the QLD, the ProShares Ultra QQQ ETF, and over the same 2 trading days, Market Insight subscribers were able to lock in a $4.48 profit or an 8.47% gain in just 1 trade. Get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during your free trial and pay nothing. Don't miss out on the next great trading opportunity in 2013. Act today. TFNN legend Bud Rolfs has come out of retirement to bring you a special report and a one-time only webinar that will show you what's going to happen in the markets over the next 4 years. Bud Rolfs is the former chief technical analyst of the Tiger Trading Post at TFNN and is a true market innovator who has taught thousands of students how to read charts and be more successful traders. Don't miss this chance to learn from a TFNN legend and get this timely market advice that will put you on the right side of the market for the next major move. Plus, he'll show you his expert analysis on the current major markets and explain the technical setup that is predicting a move of over 50%. We're offering this one-of-a-kind special package for only $179, and the moment that you sign up, you'll gain access to Bud's 11-page executive summary where he provides you with the keys to his market call and prepares you for his live 90-minute webinar on March 21st. Don't miss this one-of-a-kind offer. Sign up today on the front page of TFNN.com. Daryl Martin coined the phrase diagnostic trading, and we're happy to announce that his diagnostic box spread analyzer has finally been released. The Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer helps you easily identify the best box spreads on Nadex in seconds, plus you receive access to the diagnostic deviation levels, as well as step-by-step training videos teaching you how to trade Nadex spreads so you can quickly master the mechanics of this simple yet powerful trading instrument. By pulling live data from the Nadex exchange, the Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer does all the math for you, calculating risk, reward potential, distance to break even for both outright spreads and spreads used to hedge the underlying market. Visit the front page of TFNN.com today to get your 2-week free trial to Daryl Martin's Diagnostic Box Spread Analyzer and gain access to the valuable information it can provide when trading the Nadex box spreads.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
It's always better when we're together. Yeah, we'll look at them stars when we're together. Well, it's always better when we're together. Yeah, it's always better when we're together.
We're off to the races. We got the Dow up 42 points. Composite up 10. S&P's up about almost 5 points. Russell 2000 up 2 points out there. Google on the move up $6. Apple up 3. Microsoft up 5 ticks. Intel up 3. Cisco up 4 pennies out there. Apple leading the charge. The upside right behind them. Amerisource and ABC up $3. Hain Celestial up $2.18. Sarepta Therapeutics on the move again up $1.64. NPS Pharmaceuticals up $1.75. Walgreens up $1.44. Charter Communications up about 60 cents. To the downside, DSW off $6. That's off about 10%. That's the shoe company out there. I believe Cardinal Health, CAH, off $2.60. That's down 5%. McKesson Corp out there, one of the suppliers, quite frankly, to AmerisourceBergen. In fact, a large supplier, they're down 2% this morning off $2.17. Lululemon off about $2.50 right now. Harvest Natural, we're going to take a look at that stock chart, almost getting cut in half, down 42% out there. I don't see any news on that. Affimax also getting cut in half, a little bit more than half, off 55% right now. I believe we've looked at that stock chart before, and it just is absolutely horrible and said, get out of the way. It looks like they're absolutely going out of business. And stock price-wise, they're down at $1.28 out there. You've got Rio Tinto off $1.37. Our call-in number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Would love to take a look at your stock chart. Let's go start taking a look at some of these things here, popping and dropping in the market. Let's go start off by taking a look at Lululemon. LULU is the ticker symbol. Let's go see what this is doing. This thing here is now down below an area of support. That will now become resistance. We can see that line drawn across the screen. You can see both a black line and a red line out here. And what that sets up, that when I talk about that is an area now of resistance. You could pretty much use the price point of about 65.39 or so. Maybe you'd use the low here of the swing point from November 15th. That would be 65.09. So that is really the range. And now what Lululemon will do is come down to its next support level. Pretty easy to draw the lines on this. We're just looking for areas where it broke out, or where the stock, in this case here, gapped up and broke out. We'll go ahead and put this line here in black as well. That last breakout on Lululemon, or not last breakout, but the next breakout that it wants to go visit, is all the way back here on the date of January 9, 2012. The high was 54.08, closed at 53.44, did 2.9 million shares, but the breakout was with 13 million shares out there. You can see this came all the way back to the breakout area, came back there in July of 2012, did with 3.8 million shares, 3.8 going against 2.9, but really the benchmark was 13. That is a nice trade setup there. It hung around for a few trading sessions, had a nice little bullish engulfing candle, was initially a little head fake, came back to test that level, but when it came back and tested it, did it with 4 million shares, a little over 4 million shares on August the 1st. Then it broke on out of there. August 2nd was the last time it was down in that area, closed back above it. So that is your area of support, and that is where Lululemon will likely head to. It'll head to that next floor out there. That should take it down somewhere in the range of 55.43 to 52.20. It's at 62.91. Volume so far this morning is pretty heavy. Only been trading for 8 minutes and already 2.7 million shares. So here's the deal, folks. If you're still in this and you had a nice run in this, you gotta start taking some profits here, because this thing is breaking through the consolidation levels. Let's see the volume that it really needs to break, which is going to do 18 million shares. Really, all that it needed to break is about 1.4 million. What's it? Right here, I'm looking at the swing point back in 1.9 million on January 23rd. So it's breaking swing points. It's breaking consolidation areas. It's doing it with volume. And why would you want to take the pain all the way down to $54? No reason to do that. That would be another 15% or so. It's absolutely not worth it. So that is on Lululemon. Let's go take a look at this. What was it? Harvest. What is the? Let me find it here. May have dropped off of my screen here. No, HNR is the ticker symbol. Harvest Natural and HNR. Let's go see. This is down 44% here right now. Yeah, I believe we took a look at this not too long ago, back in February 20th. Gap down was 7.3 million shares. That was the time to get the heck out of Dodge. That would, the night before, you talk about a haircut. The night before was at $9.16. And the very next trading session closes out at 5.45. That is one of those haircuts extraordinaire. It was coming back into an area where it had broken out, which was on June 21st. That level now has given way. This thing is in just simply absolutely horrible shape. Let's put this on the longer-term chart, the monthly chart out here. At one point in time, this thing was trading out at $17.46 back in March of 2011. Now it's coming all the way down to its low. So nary a investor in this stock in a profit position, all the way back to the March 09 levels out here. The low is 261. Certainly that will be tagged. It's coming in here with volume. So this thing here, quite frankly, on an A to B equals CD. The B point on the monthly chart now doesn't have that volume yet, would be the low of June 30th, 2012. But you really can't do the A to B equals CD, because you'd go from $17 as your A point down to $4.85 as your B point. That puts it as negative. That puts it as going out of business out there. So that is HNR. Let's go take a look at AmerisourceBergen, ABC out there. They are AmerisourceBergen. Does a lot of the a lot of the good neighbor pharmacies out there. So, for now, these are the groups that, in essence, are competing against Walgreens. So more in the rural areas. I used to supply them when I was in the photo business with photo products and photo booths and things of that sort. But let's go take a look at AmerisourceBergen, truly gapping up this morning. Got to be something behind the news out here. There we go. Let's see. What can I pull up here? Amerisource. Oh, how about that? It's about time. There they go. They entered a long-term relationship with Walgreens. I knew that was only a matter of time because, they were, when you take a look at the folks like Walgreens and CVS, pretty much, I don't know about your street corners, but they've replaced basically every gas station on most every street corner out there. And now what do they got to do to expand their revenues? They've got to figure out where are they going to go to expand. And now it, to a certain extent, only made sense to go after the rural guys out there. In fact, the profits are pretty high inside those areas. If there's not a Walmart pharmacy nearby and there's not a CVS or a Walgreens, and that's not been their focus, is that area. So that makes sense. That's what they're doing out here, with regard to AmerisourceBergen. And AmerisourceBergen now up and over its all-time highs. Well, I believe so. Let's go put this on the monthly chart and pull this back. Yeah, it most certainly is out there. So that is on ABC, AmerisourceBergen. Of course, one of their suppliers, so that makes sense now, McKesson Corp. That is why McKesson is trading down. It should be MCK. Maybe McKesson is not the largest supplier to Walgreens out there, because McKesson, I believe, was the larger supplier to AmerisourceBergen out here. So we got McKesson here now gapping down, doing it with some decent volume, 326,000 shares so far today in 12 minutes of trading. Made that bearish engulfing candle on the 15th here of March. Made a high out here with 1.2 million shares. Had a little bearish engulfing candle. Some additional follow through yesterday, and now looks like what this will do is come back to at least the last set of swing points out here. We can see it's been a little bit of an area of support. We'll have to find out if that area of support will hold. The price point level right around the 101.46, maybe 101.78-ish. Now, volume down there looks like it's about 2 million shares. Yeah, 2 million shares. So if it starts coming in there with heavy volume, it'll head down to the next level. That next level down around December 31st, 2012, in about the $95 to $96 range. That is on McKesson, MCK out here. Let's go take a look at this equity. It's no longer. It certainly has worked off and is working off the overbought condition. But the next target should be about $102 or so. That is on McKesson. Let's go take a peek in on Google. We know that Google was up against a support area. Let's see if it actually broke that second level of support, or if that held. I didn't take a look at the Google chart, although I can see here now by looking at it, it absolutely held. So now let's go pull this up, take a look at Google, see what she is doing out here. And Google came down yesterday into the area where it had broken out just slightly. The breakout was on March the 5th, moved higher with 4 million shares. The low of the breakout session was March 4th, 805 even Steven. Yesterday got down to a low of 801.47. It closed at 807.79. The test yesterday, 1.8 million shares going against, and this is nice, going against the 2.7 where it broke up. But really your benchmark was that gap up was the 4 million share mark. So what did Google do? That rejected it, and now it's going to try to go take another run for its highs, I would believe, right in the anywhere from 828 to 844, the March 6 highs out there. That is on Google. If we take a look at volume, so far 281,000 shares up at those highs, only 2.8 million shares out there, so not any extraordinary volume, but that's what Google wants to do. It wants to go run for that level out there. Let's go peek in here. Let's go see what Amazon is doing. We haven't looked at Amazon in quite some time. Amazon coming into an area where it should find some support. That's if we take a look at this red line here going across my screen. It's flirting with that area. And if it cannot hold, what Amazon will do is Amazon should run down to the level of about, well, we can take a look at a couple different places where Amazon could run into, because we're looking at, in essence, a consolidation range out here, that consolidation being set up by that January 2nd gap up. That high out there was $258. That level is basically held. We can move the line down just a tad. So let's do that because that really is the area here that has acted as support. So you can see Amazon has not busted through a level of support. Yesterday on the way down, 2.7 million shares going into 3.3, going into 3.9, going into 3.2. Not enough volume yesterday. So Amazon should be able to hold this level, and if that's the case, then we're taking a look at a consolidation range. The absolute high of that consolidation range, we'll put this in black here. That's not the absolute high, but the absolute high would take you all the way back into January 25th out there. That level would be 284, but more likely the consolidation range that it's traveling in would be really in about the 270 level. So it's at 257 right now, about 270. Would you take a trade on this? No, I wouldn't. I would wait for the bulls to show up, just like they did right back here. So as it comes down into this level here, which it did, the last time it did was back on February 26th, came back with 3.3 million shares. Should you have taken the trade then? No, I don't think so. I think what you do is you wait for the bulls to show up. And the bulls, they can't disguise themselves. They absolutely can't. You're looking for, in essence, a bullish candle. In this case here, where you had two small-bodied candles yesterday and at least so far today, it would be easy for the bulls to show up, and all you have to do, in essence, would be to wait for price to get above, I would say, 259.30. That's assuming that Amazon just continues to really trade like this today. But wait for the bulls to show up as your signal out there if you were interested in trading Amazon. If we go take a look at, let's go take a look at Hain. Let's see here. What is actually popping the most here percentage-wise? Well, Walgreens. So let's go see what Walgreens is doing out here. WAG, W-A-G, is the ticker symbol. So let's go see what Walgreens is doing. And Walgreens here gapping up nicely, doing it with some pretty decent volume and taking out a area of resistance. Of course, it really took that level out back here in March 13th. So looks like maybe somebody knew about it. In fact, you actually had some pretty decent volume as it took out that resistance area on March the 13th. So it has taken that level out. So far, volume here today, 3 million shares. Let's put this back on a weekly chart as we take a look at Walgreens. Walgreens now heading for its highs. Let me pull this back even further. Right now, we can see that Walgreens really has been it's going to run into a resistance area. That resistance area, and we'll see what kind of volume is behind this here. Put the black line across the screen. So the highs that it's headed for right now, the June 24, 2011. Remember, this is a weekly chart that we are looking at here on Tiger TV. Volume there was 66 million shares. Last week, this thing did 32 million shares. So far, so it's gonna need more volume. Let me switch down to the daily because my weekly's not updated here. But so far today, 3 million shares. Yesterday, 2.7. So it's going to need some real giddy-up juice to go. Now, that doesn't mean that it can't take out that area of resistance on lighter volume. Just means that in order to really break it and then to move up to the next levels, which would take you back into the highs of 2006, you'd like to see it truly do that on some higher volume out there. That is on Walgreens. That was on the weekly chart. Let's see, what else? We have Affimax. We haven't looked at Affimax. That's down 57% out here. FFY. I know we looked at this stock chart out here. Hey, we're back to accentuating the positive. I guess I shouldn't have pulled up Affimax out here. We'll be right back, folks.
Emanate the negative and latch on to the affirmative, but don't mess with Mr. In Between. You've got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith.
You take a hands-on approach to managing your investments. And whether you're bullish or bearish on U.S. Treasuries, the ETFs from Direction Shares are there to help you magnify your perspective. Bull ETFs for a rising market and bear ETFs for a falling market. Direction Shares gives you the tools for both sides of the trade. Discover how we can help at DirectionShares.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 800-851-0511. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors employing dynamic strategies. Investors in the fund should understand the consequences of seeking daily investment results, understand the risk of shorting, and intend to actively monitor and manage their investments. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
Recently, Basil Chapman has had some outstanding trades in his newsletter, The Opening Call. Each morning by 9 a.m., Basil uploads his newsletter to the TFNN servers so that his subscribers can access his expert trading advice. Basil gives his take on the direction of key indices and updates any active trades that his subscribers are currently in. Just recently, Basil subscribers closed out a short position in Chipotle Mexican Grill, CMG, for more than an $86 profit per share, over a 20% gain in just one position. If you'd like to try out Basil Chapman's newsletter, The Opening Call, then visit the front page of TFNN.com and click Trading Newsletters. There you'll find Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, where you can request a free sample copy. Also, don't miss Basil's program, The Tiger Technicians Hour, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, on TFNN.
Tom O'Brien's weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, has helped subscribers for over 10 years navigate the high-risk world of exploring and producing gold companies. And now's a great time to sign up for a free month-long trial to see the kind of insight that Tom delivers for his subscribers on a weekly basis. Every Monday, Tom O'Brien issues a quick update on the metal market, giving you his take on the HUI, XAU, GLD, dollar, bonds, and much more. Tom follows Monday's update with a full gold report, which is delivered to subscribers Tuesday afternoon with detailed coverage of 24 separate gold or metal stocks, as well as another 10 to 15 stocks that he lets you know are on his potential watch list. Get your month-long free trial to the Gold Report today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Don't spend another year navigating the metal markets on your own. Act early in 2013 and make the most of your gold and metal market investments.
Catch the Money Masters as they teach you the art of mastering money when it comes to trading and investing. Next on TFNN.
Folks, no Mr. In Between out there. Right now we got the Dow up 60 points, S&P's up 5, Composite up 11, small caps up 2.5 out there. Let's go peek in here. Metals-wise, we've got the gold really flat, off $1.40. Silver down 4 pennies. The King dollar is flat. The currency market really relatively flat. I would expect here we've got Uncle Ben Bernanke out for the next couple of days, so don't know that the markets are truly going to go ahead and get away from us here. The Dow was off 62 points right now, so. Yesterday, so really not a whole lot of movement out here, and maybe we can expect kind of a, what I'll call a relatively flat market here for the next couple of days. Of course, we have everything going over in Cyprus, which is a huge deal. Really huge deal out there, and we'll see how that is going to play out. I can't imagine that this is a story. Well, we'll see. I the general news media may let this thing die, but it's going to be it's a real problem. It's absolutely what they did was just what those folks over in the European Union were doing and what they were smoking and what they were drinking or what have you. I'm not one to do a lot of political commentary, and I won't begin now here. But what they did was absolutely they should be fired, those folks, for making the decisions that they made. Of course, that is the group that also came out with the European Stability Fund, the ESFM, all kinds of nothing but marketing PR out there. So not a group that I have a lot of high regard for. I would say that's not the. They need to listen to Johnny Mercer. They got to accentuate the positive and eliminate the negative, and they most certainly did not do that. In any event, let's go ahead and peek in here on light sweet crude and bonds. As we get ready to wrap up the show here, maybe peeking on the now what light sweet crude is doing is light sweet crude just continues to reject the lows. It's got that 618 Gartley sell pattern traveling in between a rising price channel. And again, folks, remember, if you're even sitting on the tree or the fence, I should say, whether or not you should attend Bud Rolf's workshop this coming Thursday, just do it. Just like the Nike commercial, just do it. You will be happy that you invested the time. The money is it's really, immaterial here. It is not that much for a valued education. And you do want, this is an opportunity to learn from the master. And that is really what it's all about. So you think back at anything that you've wanted to ever master in your life. If you were playing hockey, you'd want to go, to Wayne Gretzky, Steve Yzerman, Pavel Datsyuk, whoever it is that might be at the top of your list out there, Gordie Howe. Of course, I'm sort of Detroit-based, so with the exception of Wayne. And, that's what you would want to be able to do. If you want to play basketball, you'd want to go learn from Michael Jordan out there. If you wanted to learn primary trading ranges and channel lines, and, you'd want to go to Bud Rolf's. It's really that simple. If you want to learn swing point and price and volume, you go to Tom. It's really that simple out there. And so take advantage of that. This coming Thursday. All the details on your homepage at tfnn.com. And even if you can't be there live, that's not a problem, because you'll have access to the workshop archived on your members page. Light Sweet Crude, it is traveling inside that channel line, and it wants higher price. I'm thinking Light Sweet Crude is now not just going to get to the 94.84 level. That's the next price. It's at 93.81. It wants to head all the way up to $96.33. Folks, thanks so much for being here. If you're off to start your day, have a great Tuesday, and always remember, you have an amazing power within yourself, and that power is so strong it'll create a life of abundance, cure incurable diseases, build billion-dollar businesses, paint magnificent masterpieces, and create fantastic, loving families. Most of all, folks, thanks so much for being a part of the TFNN family, and always remember.
People coming up to me saying, I just can't believe the amount of work that Steve does on his newsletter. And I says, I absolutely agree.
That is a recent clip from the Money Masters show that Tom and I do each day at TFNN. My newsletter service, Mastering Probability, is much, much more than a newsletter. Yes, it's outperformed the S&P 500 by 100% during the last 15 months. But more importantly, it's an extraordinary education, a roadmap for your success. And it's yours risk-free for the next 30 days. Just go to the homepage of TFNN.com and click on my name, Steve Rhodes, and then Mastering Probability, because everyone needs a success strategy. For most, it's a competitive edge, the will to win, the drive to overcome any obstacle. Whatever you call it, winners find a way. Find your way to Mastering Probability today, because your journey to extraordinary rewards is just one click away.